Hello one and all. I welcome you all watching Inspired to Bring a Change. This channel is related to educative and informative. My name is Vishal Kumar and I have brought one of the important topic to discuss with you in English language. So I am going to discuss you about a language. So let us begin and understand that what sort of contents I am going to discuss with you. So here we go. In this slide you can see plenty of languages names are mentioned here. For example, English, Spanish, Ukraine, Romanian, Persian, Russian, Arabic, Japanese, Hindi, Czech, French, Cantonese, Polish, etc. These all are the languages. These languages are very important. One person speaks language, try to communicate with others. Language is the medium of communication. Language is that tool which helps us to communicate and assess. It is a language which also helps us to exchange our views in a broad way. Without a language, it is not possible to establish the human civilization. So let us go forward and understand about the language in this complete video. So first of all, I would like to mention here that what sort of contents I am going to discuss here. So first of all, in the contents, I am going to discuss here about what is a language. The second one is language as a medium of communication. Third content is characteristics of a language. And the last but not the least, English as a global language. So dear all viewers, let us go through entire video and completely and understand. It is going to be one of the knowledgeable and fruitful to understand plenty of new facts and figures about the language. So here we go. So the question arises, what is a language? So it's mentioned here in the slide, but I am reading for you. A language is a system of communication which consists of sound and written symbols, and it is used by the people in a particular region, place, or any country in the form of a speaking and writing. So language is used in the form of a script, in the form of a writing. We write a letter, we write our thoughts, we text our email, lot of ideas we try to share, and it is a symbols. It is a complete a system, and it is a system which is helping to communicate to person. Moreover, in the next point, it is mentioned here, every language has its particular script, set of characters, symbols, structures, and its specific grammatical rules. Without grammatical rules, our language is going to be futile. So it is important to understand the grammatical structures of any language, because it helps us to avoid all the errors from the grammatical point of view. And the last point here about the language is the scientific study of the language is known as a linguistic. So linguistic is a kind of a science where we deal with the language. Language always helps us to understand broadly, but in a scientific manner, to study about the different languages, to know about the scripts, to know about the language system, we deal with the linguistic. So linguistic is a different branch, like many other subjects are there, like English is a subject, grammar is a subject, mathematics is a subject. The same thing, linguistic is the scientific study of a language. So here I move to the another slide to discuss more about. Here comes about language as a medium of communication. So our language is the medium of communication through which we express our emotions, ideas, feelings, and thoughts to our fellow people. Language plays a vital role as a medium to communicate our thoughts and feelings with our family members, We communicate with our friends. We try to communicate with our colleagues and any fellow people. Language is very essential because it's a medium. It is helping us to develop the culture, socio-economic status of the people and the nation. Indeed, language is a unique gift to the human beings because it is the only human being who communicate, who speaks the language and exchange the views. Although animals also try to speak their own language, but we try to interpret that and try to find out that what exactly they are trying to say us or convey to us. Suppose I have domesticated a dog and the dog is barking, so I will guess that whether the dog is hungry or maybe he is just warning me that any thief has trespassed in my courtyard, something else. But it is very important that language always plays a medium of communication. So here I move to the another slide to tell you about the characteristics of a language. So language is very specific because it has some specific nature, it has some characteristics, and let us understand that what sort of characteristics the language contains. So basically, language is an arbitrary in itself in nature. Language is an abstract because we have a lot of ideas, a lot of thinking in our mind, and this helps us to research work. It helps us to speak something new thing and it develops. So abstract thing which is not visible to us, it is in our mind. Language is an artificial because plenty of languages are spoken around the world, but apart from that, what the word, the particular word or taxonomy we have given to any particular name of the word, it may be differ to in other country. So that is why language is an artificial. Language has a characteristics of displacement. Language is creative. Language is recursive. Language has a characteristics of a conventional power. Language is vocalic. We have to speak and then we try to communicate with others. So while speaking, I am using a medium of a language. So language is vocalic. Language has a nature of non-instinctive. Language is duality. Language has the characteristics of restricted. So moreover, broadly speaking, language is a productive. The more we speak, the more we understand, the more we try to find the lot of ideas and go for the research work, and a lot of, you can see that now books are published and mentioned in the different languages. So language is a productive. Language is a completely wholesome, a systematic. Without the systematic, a system cannot work. So language is only helping, it is completely a system into the communication. So that is why language has a specific characteristics. Now let us go forward and understand more about the language here. So I would like to mention here English as a global language. As you know that English is the secondary language in India, but if I talk about the national language in the other countries, especially Great Britain, about England, if I talk about the USA, if I talk about the Australia, English is the first language. I mean to say here that English is the national language of USA, United Kingdom and Australia, and moreover in other countries also. So English has been playing a very vital role because it once Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, said that English is the window to go to the other world, because without the help of the English language we are not able to go to the internationals, we are not able to go for the higher studies. Language is helping us too much, although we are speaking different languages, but what is the common point over here in English language, that this language has become the lingua franca of the world. It is connecting people to people, it is connecting to group. So let us go ahead and find out some more about English language. So here I would like to mention that English is the lingua franca of the world. Lingua franca is the word which means that to connect people to people. As I am speaking English language, if you are understanding my point of view, so it is a lingua franca because here I am able to connect with you If someone is speaking Canadian, Mexican, I am not able to understand. So that point of language cannot be known as a lingua franca. So lingua franca is a very important, because with the help of this we are able to connect, we are able to understand, we are able to think, we are able to write, and this all connectivity is completely called as a lingua franca. So I would like to mention here some important facts and figure about the English language. So here I would like to add more that English as a global language. So what is that all about? Although the Britishers, they came to India and they ruled over here, so they people were also called as the Englishmen, and it is that due to them we got a gift about the English language. We have been speaking in our southern part of our country. English language is spoken. These days we see that English language has been playing a very vital role. We go for the jobs, for the interview. We see that many newspapers are published in the English newspaper. We see the magazines. Lot of activities are being conducted, are being published, are being done, and it is all about that language. So first of all, I would like to give the history background about the English language here. So let me start. The first point I would like to mention here that English is a West Germanic language that was initially spoken during the early medieval period in England. Next point I would like to mention here that after Mandarin Chinese, English is the most spoken language. It is the second spoken language across the world. There are 1.1 billion speakers, those who are speaking the Mandarin Chinese. Apart from this, 9.83 million speakers, they are speaking English language. Third, I would like to mention here, English is the common lingua franca of the world. If you go country to country, different country if you go, then if you are speaking English language and you are able to easily communicate with the people, and that is why that connectivity becomes quite common to us. We are easily accessible, we are able to understand, they can also understand what I am saying. So that is why it is a common lingua franca of the world. Next point I would like to mention here, about 80% English speakers in the world are from the non-native speakers, because there are many countries, they have their own national language. Suppose in other country, like if Japanese is spoken in Japan, then even English is also spoken there. So that non-native speakers, they are also trying to speak English language. They want to get connect with the globe, they want to get connect with the people, they want to go for the maximum economic growth for the country. And the last I would like to mention here that English has fulfilled the need of lingua franca to connect the people on the global platform in this 21st century. So here I have mentioned that English has been playing the parts and parcels of any languages. These days we see major growth among the youths. They are trying to speak more and more English language. So here I would like to say you that you need to have a better practice more and more. If you try to learn vocabulary, try to give your statement clearly, and maximum practice is required. So orally practicing is going to help you a lot to communicate, to pronounce the word properly, so that we can enhance our language, we can improve our communication, we can improve and learn English communication. So moreover, here in the slide, some facts and figures I have collected. I would like to mention here that there are more than 6,500 languages spoken around the world. So those languages I mentioned initially on the slide, that like Arabian, Mexican, Cuban, Canadian, Japanese, these all are the languages, different languages spoken in the different countries. So first I would like to mention here that English is spoken almost in entire parts of the country. So in the entire globe we see that different countries are there. Even some of the countries we have not heard the name also. Suppose in the continent of South Africa, the continent about the Africa, in the continent of Asia, lot of countries are there. So English is the language where almost entire part of the country they are using that, they are speaking, they are trying to get connected with the people. And what is the most simplest and the common thing about the English language is that English has only 26 alphabet, which is very magical. This letter has been playing a very magical and majestic role. Only after learning this alphabet, we are try to join the letter to letter, then we develop and produce a new word. We produce more statements. We are trying to develop and make a proper paragraphs. This is also helping us to learn more and more new vocabulary. We can see that this is the time of the technology and this is the time of the revelation. So many newspapers, magazines, books are published in English language, because language is published in the different languages because just to preserve the record. That is why if we are reading this English newspaper also, I guarantee you that you are going to learn a new vocabulary every day. You are going to learn a new statement. You are going to learn a lot of new unique things every day. So keep on learning, keep growing. And next point I would like to discuss here, there are more than 18 lakh 35,000 something words contained in the Oxford Dictionary. But these entire words are not used in a language, because most of the words these days are also become obsolete. We are not using that words. Lot many words are from the chemical world. Lot many words are from the Latin language, and many of the words has been taken from the different languages. It has been adapted, but we are not able to use 18 lakh 35,000 words in a day, in a week, in a month. It is not possible. So that is why Oxford Dictionary has also deleted or also mentioned and put into the obsolete section that these words are not usable. These are specially used in the other words. It's the reference to the other words. So that is why here I've mentioned some facts and figure. Next, I would like to discuss here that it is very useful language and we should learn it. Why we should learn it? Because for our own career growth, we have to crack the interview, we have to crack the examination. There are a lot of competitions are coming across. We find that a lot of students, they face a problem. They want to try to improve their communication, but communication does not mean that only you are speaking a language and it's going to be brush up or bring up good skills about your language. Communication also means that your reading, your writing, your speaking and listening power should be so much improved and so much developed, so that the other person can understand so easily that what you are saying, what you are writing. To express yourself, to present yourself, we need to learn a language. I must put emphasis over here that English is a very useful language, so we must keep learning. The last point I would like to mention here, that it is used for the interview purpose, it is used for the job, in organization, in educational field, in a business, in media, in sports, everywhere. Almost all the section and the points, nothing is untouched with this language. So we have to learn it and understand the value of this language. So the most important sentence I would like to share with you is that first impression is the last impression. So don't let the last impression be the first impression. So first impression should be always remain in the first. Let the last impression be obsolete and deleted from your mind. Keep focusing, keep learning. Finally, I would like to thank you all for giving full attention and giving lots of love to this channel, inspiring to bring a change. I assure you that I am going to bring more and more new videos to you, before you, so that we can keep learning and grow together. So complete. I have presented about the language here. And finally, I remind you, please do not try to subscribe, give your like and hit the bell icon so that you can get some latest updates about the videos. Thank you so much for paying and attention, and I'll be looking forward to your responses in the form of your likes and also giving your comments. Thank you so much.